All righty, folks, and we are live. It is Monday, and this is not my music. This is how we do it. It's not my music or GodFidence music, so we don't own the copyrights to this music, but this is how we do it. Let me see who's going to be joining us. I always try to come on a little bit early to make sure we're straight. It's not Friday night, it's Monday night. How was your weekend, everybody? Come on in the house. We got a great show for y'all tonight. Go tell your girls to get on. Go tell the fellas to get on. I got a special treat for y'all. Just don't know. You just don't know. It's good to see you guys. I don't know about you, but the weekend goes by so fast. And today went by really fast too. So all my neighbors who got much flavor. This is how we do it. So y'all holler at me if you are on. Text me or text me. Look at me. I'm all on my phone. Not text, but chat with me. Y'all, school has started. I think we're 2 weeks in Georgia to school starting. And oh my gosh, can y'all believe the year is just about coming to a close? It is now August. We're at the end of August, getting ready for September, October, November, December. We got 3 months before the end of the year. We just started 2023. And now we're going into 2024. Hey, Lady D. Wyatt, what's going on with you? I've had a field weekend, so I have to do all of my preliminaries 2 minutes before the hour. But I've had a full weekend. You guys probably had a full weekend too. I got a chance to, on Friday, what did Fuller and I do on Friday night? We got so much going on. We probably went and had dinner someplace. I check my schedule so I can tell y'all. I have to write down everything. I don't know about you guys, but I use a calendar for everything. Let me see. Oh, we went to the Falcons game. See, I got to look at my calendar. And the Falcons played the Bengals. It was a tie game, whatever. I was just glad that they didn't lose. And we got our seats changed at the stadium, which was good. So we moved down a little bit. And we're not right in front of the goal. We're like over here. So it's all right. We're happy about that. Then on Saturday, I had a busy weekend on Saturday. It was men's fellowship at our church. And then I also got a chance to sing at our Oasis. They have a monthly Oasis meeting. So those that are on for World Changers, if you didn't know it, we have a monthly Oasis. That's 55 and up. That is not me. So I am not involved in. Oh, okay, I shouldn't say that because Miss Norma's probably watching. Hey, Valerie Adams, what's going on? So I shouldn't say that I'm not involved. I do participate when I'm asked. So at any event, we did have Oasis. That was really good. They're going on a trip to the Blue Mountains, and that's going to be really exciting. So I'm excited for my mom is going to go for that, and did that. And then on Sunday, my kids, or Paige rather, I forget, Austin is not in high school anymore. He's getting ready for college. So on Sunday, the Westlake High School got a chance to participate in the Bronner Brothers was filming a commercial, but it was at the stadium. And so it started at 8 a.m. in the morning until, I want to talk a little bit about, maybe that's another show. Talk a little bit about being on time. So that's a whole nother show. I can't even go into it because I don't want nobody to feel like I was trying to talk about Westlake because that wasn't Westlake. That was some other people, just like our concerts, they don't always start on time, but that's another thing. I don't know why, but anyway. So I wish our when we plan things that they start on time. So today we're gonna start on time because I get to be the host of Confidence. And I know you don't see my sidekick over here beside me, but that's all right too. Y'all keep chatting with me and let me know you in the house. Come on in, Ronelda. What's up? So hey, you guys, tag somebody, tell them that we're on. I got a little subject I think you guys want to hear about. It's a little bit of I don't know, shade plus a little bit of truth, all truth. Um, but I'm going to get started. My name is Darlene Quincy Fuller. And tonight I've got a chance to chat it up with my girl. Some of you may know her. A lot of you may know her. And then those that don't necessarily go to World Changers may not know her. But she is the other part or half, not half, I don't really know what you call it, but she is the other part of Fuller's daily, and I do mean daily life. If Darlene ain't in it, and his other girlfriend, Wante, who y'all know, yes, Wante, I'm calling you out, it would be my other sidekick over here, and her name is, I'm gonna pop her on in, and that would be Sheila.
Hello.
Her name is Sheila Wall. And she is the other part of our lives, and I do mean the other part of our life on an ongoing basis. So I thought Fuller is visiting with family. We've had some relatives and friends that have had some life changes, circumstances, deaths in our family, his family, friends. And so Fuller's off, and I told him, you know what, babe, go ahead, do what you're going to do today. And because I know, Fuller, in fact, said it, why don't we ask Sheila to come on? We can talk about her being the boss's wife. Is that what I said? This is other wife. I don't know what you call it, Sheila. But the other half of our world. And so the wife at work, I guess is what we said. So Sheila, those who may not know Sheila has been a part of our lives. And I'm going to start with myself because I know Sheila different than I know her as a part of Fuller's life. Right, Sheila?
Yep.
So Sheila and I have known each other. I've been at World Changers 26 years. How long have you been at church, Sheila?
I've been at the church 26 years, at work 25.
Okay,
No,
so
26. 26.
you came in 86, I mean 96?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Oh, I didn't know that. Look at there. Look, everybody saying, hey, Miss Sheila. Hey, Sheila.
Hey,
It's Sister Sheila. Hey, Sister Sheila.
it's
So
okay.
you guys probably know that Sheila is Fuller's project manager, product support, help desk guru. She is his admin. She is everything to Fuller. And so I love Sheila. Sheila and I know each other because I've been at the church equally as long as she has been.
Mhm.
And we knew each other separately than her and Fuller in their relationship. And so, Sheila, tell us a little bit about yourself because I don't spill all your Kool-Aid. You can go ahead and share with everybody who you are.
Well, I'm Sheila Wall, and I know it says that I'm his wife, but really I'm his daughter at work.
Oh,
I know most people say, that's my work wife. He always calls me his daughter,
he
and I
do.
like that better than I do wife.
I gotta fix that, Sheila. I've got to fix that. I'm
He's
so
got
sorry.
one wife. I'm his daughter at work, but
Okay.
also I assist him in anything that I can help him with. I've been at the church for, like she said, 26 years. I love what I do. I told him, I said, I don't want to get promoted. You can always give me a raise, but I'd
I heard
rather work
that.
with you than work with someone else. And one
Ooh,
of the reasons is because he gives me an opportunity to put an input into the job.
yeah.
Some bosses that I've worked for in the past is my way or the highway.
Uh-huh.
And with Bishop Fuller is, okay, let's get some ideas. Sometimes he won't take them, he won't use them, and that's fine. But other times he's like, you know what, Sheila, I think your idea is better. So
Mhm.
I like working for someone who appreciates and respects me, and it's easier to respect them.
Look at your daughter chiming in. Hi, mommy. Hey, mommy, you look
That's
so
my
pretty.
Jesse. Yeah.
Well, I am so I am excited. Yes, you're right, Sheila, but you really are everything to Fuller. So I'm gonna share this with you guys because some of you may now that you realize Sheila's been at the church and been working for Fuller for how long you been working for Fuller now?
Well,
Bishop
he
Fuller.
came in 2005. I was already working there, but I had him working for CDMA before he became an employee of CDMA
Okay.
because
What?
when Pastor Smith moved over to the exec office, it left
Mhm.
me in the physical office by myself, and there would be pastors who would call, and even though pastor would teach us on what to say, how to do it, and all that kind of stuff through his ministry, there were some pastors who just didn't want to hear from a woman. They
Hmm.
wanted to hear from someone with a title. So I would call Bishop because I used to go to his church on Tuesdays and then come to our church on Wednesday.
Really?
Yes. That's how I met him. He had preached once at World Changers, and I was like, I like the way this man preached. And then I had a chance to meet Mama Jean and everything, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna find out where they have a church at. And it happened to be on a Tuesday, so I would go to their church on Tuesday, and then I come to World Changers on Wednesday. And since I got to know him, I was like, you know what? I can call him. So I would call him and go, I have this pastor who wants some advice. I know the answer. This is what I would say, but I don't think he's going to receive it from an employee. He needs someone with a title. He said, okay, I'll call. And he did that probably 2, 3 years for us before
Wow.
he even got hired at the church.
What?
Yes. And so I started praying. I'm like, Lord, we need somebody like him here. And before I knew it, Pastor had him come in and volunteer, and he would come in and volunteer whenever anyway. And he had him come and volunteer. And then the next thing we knew, Pastor hired him and said, I want you to be here to pastor my pastors. And he's been there ever since.
Wow, I did look there. See, that's what daughters and wives and know about your husband that you don't even know. I mean, that's good, Sheila. And by the way, your daughter is truly Jessica. She's right. You look
Yeah.
so pretty tonight.
Well, thank
Yes,
you.
you do. Oh, yeah, yes, you do.
I was
Just,
nervous.
yes, you was what?
I was nervous. I don't do things in front of cameras. I do things behind the camera.
And that
So
is true. For those who
this
don't
is,
know, when Fuller is doing It's Called Life, you will never see Sheila in front, but she's calling the house. She's texting me. She is calling Fuller. She is coordinating with the project or whoever the person is, the audio person, the video person. She's doing all those things. So Fuller is really work related who he is because Sheila makes it happen. And I am so thankful to Sheila because Sheila and I kind of go hand in hand. We're like, okay, you got this, or Sheila runs stuff by me, and I'm like, Sheila, ain't that work stuff? And she's like, let me tell you, let me just make sure it's great because we know our friend. And so,
yes.
but I am so happy to have Sheila. So, but I want to do a little bit of now. Sheila, you got to relax because I know you said you were a little bit nervous. So this show, as you know, we kind of tell all as much
Yeah.
to a degree, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So, but I would like to talk about because Fuller's on here. He's listening. He's talking about y'all keep it clean. We're gonna keep it clean. We got nothing to tell like that. But I would like to tell just because we have people that have lost spouses
Yeah.
that really tune into this broadcast, and that's how Fuller and I got started. We started sharing our personal stories. You knew David. Look at there. Sheila
Yep.
knew David. She knew Jean. She knows us separately, and now we are this different family.
Yes.
However, although Sheila knew me, Darlene, praise leader, Darlene, who would come to her and say, Sheila, can you hook a sister up? Sheila would always take
Not
care
at
of me.
all.
This has nothing to do with Fuller. I'd say, Sheila, I need to get access to such and such. She'll be like, I got you. I'm like, oh, on it. Sheila be on it. Now, Sheila is now the same person, but yet before Darlene came along, Jean Fuller was everything, right? Jean was everything to everybody, right? And so tell us a little bit about your relationship. Don't get emotional, Sheila, over there. Oh my
I'll be
God.
fine. I'll be fine.
Okay. Tell us about your relationship with Jean. And then I got a question to ask you because I think it's very good for the people to realize that not everybody felt, this like, oh my gosh, praise the Lord, darling, you and Bishop Fuller are together. How did that come up? Oh my
Ooh,
God. But
yeah,
not everybody felt that way. Right.
right.
So tell us about, just your relationship with Miss Jean. And then I got the questions to ask you.
Okay. Well, background is when I moved to Atlanta, my mom was already in heaven,
Uh-huh.
and I hadn't found a person here that made me feel like I could go and ask her motherly questions that
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't kind of laugh at you, because when I came here, I was just learning Jesus. I didn't know who he was for real. I knew of him, but I didn't know him. And so Mama Jean was just like I call her, Mama Jean. For my
Mm-hmm.
wedding, I got mad with Bishop because I asked him to marry me and my husband, and I knew he liked my husband, but he said I can't do it, and I couldn't understand it. But I knew he was a man of God. And on my wedding day, I was so nervous. I said, "Go get Bishop and Mama Jean," and they came back there. All they did was touch my hands, prayed over me, and then they went and sat down, and everything flowed so sweatlessly on my wedding day. Um, and that's how it was. When she was going through sickness, you know, Bishop would say, "Sheila, you want to come over and see Mom?" And I would come over and see Mama, give her a hug, whatever she needed. I mean, just like I do you, darling, I did for Mom. If she needed something, whether it was work related or not, because Mama Jean would come in and volunteer too, I did it
Mm-hmm.
because for me, they were like mom and dad to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard. It was just like my mama died again when
Yeah.
Mama died.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was hard. It was
Yeah.
very hard. But
Okay.
I also saw how Bishop was taking it, and I'm like, okay, I got to be strong. If he
Mm-hmm.
needs me for something, I got to be here because Mama's gone now.
Yeah. So Sheila, I want you to sit back on the couch. You guys can see that Sheila and I are in the same living room, right? We got this little virtual side by side view of the living room. So sit back and relax. So now Miss Jean has gone home to be with the Lord, and then Darlene, who separately, you found out that, and this is real talk, you guys. That's why we do this show, because everybody has had a relative that has passed, or not everybody. People have had relatives that have passed and friends that have passed, and now this other person comes along. Jean had friends that I know, that she had sons and daughters that I know. And while everybody's excited for you now, back then they weren't as easily receptive to it. And we've got to adjust our thinking, not to only assume that, oh, Bishop, you and Darlene look so great together. But that's not what y'all thought at first now. And I know that's not what everybody thinks. And when
Nope.
somebody does pass away, there are the relatives, the people that are left behind, wondering, what are they doing? What is going on? So not everybody's happy at first. So Sheila, for the audience, tell us what you felt. This might have to be Darlene. I mean, I'm just doing this because I know this will help free some people from the thinking of, you know, I have to be perfect, or I shouldn't feel this way, or I have a right to feel this way. Whatever it is people may experience. Yours may be like somebody else's.
Right. Well, the first time Bishop said, "I'm seeing someone," he didn't say who. So I was good with that. I wanted him to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But then he said who it was. And I was like, wait a minute. She's younger than me. I don't think I like this. Because now I have to give you a little bit of backstory for me. As a child, my father, who was a pastor, was not the best type of father. He
Uh-huh.
liked young people, and I was one of the people he liked.
Mm-hmm.
So for me at first, I'm thinking, oh, he's just like everybody else. I knew pastors were not this good, but my heart knew that he was not like the badness that I'd gone through. So I went into his office one day and I said, you know what? I need you to put your daddy hat on. And I said, I really was not happy when I found out who it was. And it has nothing to do with Darlene. It's just that she's younger than me, and you call me your daughter. So
Well,
why would you want to marry a child? in my eyes. That's what I thought. And he was okay, you know. And
Yeah.
then I this was after I had time to talk, because before I go to him about stuff, I still pray and I ask God about things. And then the Holy Spirit, before I went to talk to him, he reminded me of something that Mama said. We were all talking one day, and Mama said, "Well, if I go first, you know, Kenny ain't gonna be able to live without somebody in that house.
Yeah.
He gonna have a wife before it's a year up, two at
Wow.
the most." And then I heard that, and I was like, you know what? And the Holy Spirit said, "Well, do you want him to be happy, or do you want him to be sad?" And I thought about the face he would come in with on the days when Mama was so sick,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd try to be that boss with the smile and everything. But thank God our office is a safe space. And he would come through the lobby, "Hey everybody," give him a kiss, "Hey, how you doing?" And then he'd come in the office and he would close the door. And Mama was very private, so she didn't always want him to tell what she was going through. But
Right.
being so close to the family, I mean, I'm close to his sons, his daughters, his sons, his sisters, his brother-in-laws, all of them. I'm really, really close to him. I call him uncle and aunt and all of that kind of stuff. And I told him, I said, "But you know what? Even though I don't understand, I'd rather you be happy. And I see that Darlene makes you happy. So I'm happy." I said, "I'm not 100% there, but God has helped me and Mama's helped me. So I'll get 100% there, but I want you happy."
Yeah. So you said something, and maybe that's for another show. And I get now, you guys, this is live. Me and Sheila have not talked, and so some of the things she's sharing I hadn't heard before. When you talk about pastors and people that grow up under a Christian household, and but you are um, taken advantage of, or molestation happens and things like that, and you just really don't understand it. And I'm so grateful God has allowed a Fuller to be a part of your life, and for you to be grow into the matureness to be able to say, you know what, if you're happy, then I'm happy too, because not everybody said that, right? A lot of people said, and I don't mean a lot, close friends of
Mm-hmm.
Gene's, close friends of his, that said, I don't, I like Darlene, but I really love Gene. And Gene, how do you start so soon over? Like it was nothing. Like when y'all seeing each other during the time, and of course, that's
I'd
what
like
people.
to
Yeah,
address that
yeah. Go ahead.
because I was there.
Uh huh.
Bishop Fuller didn't does is not a man who would play around on his wife.
Right.
And although it looked like it was so fast, Mama was sick for so long that people didn't know. She would come to church not knowing, people wouldn't know she was in pain. People didn't know what she was going through. She'd get up there and dance with praise and worship and then go home and not be able to do anything. There were
Right.
things that she went through. There were nights when I know, Bishop was up. His brothers and brother-in-laws and sisters and everybody would come and help him out because, they had a two-story house and somebody had to help him get her down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
But he loved that woman. So if she wanted to do something, even in spite of while she was going through her healing, and I call it healing because she's healed in heaven,
Yeah.
he would, "Sheila, I ain't gonna be able to come in today. Mama wants to go and do something." And he was determined. Whatever Mama wanted, Mama was gonna get.
Yeah.
And so even though it looked like it was really, really fast, God did this on purpose because, like Mama said, he wouldn't have been able to live right without. He probably would have been in the grave himself, right beside her,
Yeah.
if God hadn't brought you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about Sheila, knowing David also. And isn't it interesting that I would have run across a Fuller, or Fuller and I would have connected.
Mm-hmm.
And for the years that David was a part of my life, you saw when I was pregnant, you saw when I had, me and David were on campus, and how God aligns things to
Yep.
come together like they did, because you and I both know you've never seen me in the office of Bishop Fuller. I would never have any reason to go
Never.
by there. And so for me now, we look at each other, we will say, can you believe like this is like real? And then even sometimes when you'll email me and say, Darlene, what do you think about this? And I'm like, oh wow, I am in this new role that I hadn't, had to play a part of all these years. And um, so now that you have made up in your mind that, I knew Mama Jean she's in a better place, and now
Mhm.
Darlene and Fuller together, what do you see with him in the office now? Not that it's better, right? But
Mhm.
now, since Mama Jean is in heaven, there's peace restored back into his life. What is your experience, just your working experience, like with him? Because what people don't realize, and I think a lot of people do, Sheila, that is who people see Fuller behave as, or the man of God that he is. He really is that way all
All the time.
the time.
Yep.
So the way he treats you at work would be the same way, differently than me, but still the same love and kindness,
Mhm.
always being in season. Y'all,
Yep.
this show wasn't intended to be about Fuller per se, but it is, because this goes in line with what people's perception. Not that we say we don't care, but we want to make sure that people get ministered to,
Yep.
and that as they're being ministered to, they understand that you experience the same things a lot of people experience,
Mhm.
right? And
Yep.
so, but also there's a little bit of a commonality between you and myself, because you lost a spouse, or you were divorced and lost. Jessica's father passed away,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so, can you tell us a little bit about from going from that relationship, being married to now Michael, and just what your relationship was like with that person, and now they're deceased, and how all of that made you feel,
Yeah. Well, the sad part about it was we were just too young to get married in the first place. When I
Uh,
got married to Jesse and CJ's father, I was 22. He was 19.
mm,
He wasn't ready, and I wasn't really ready, but I thought I was.
right.
And then we were in the military and just so much going on. And unfortunately, we didn't make it. We didn't make it. And then when they were 13 and 14, he was killed in a car accident. And so then for the next 17 years, I was a single parent for real.
Okay, so he did pass away when you were married.
No, right after we got
Oh,
divorced, he was
okay,
he was
okay,
killed in a car accident.
okay,
Jess
okay.
and CJ had gone to live with them. He was killed in a car accident,
Wow.
and I waited 17 years before I got married again. Having the background that I had, I wanted my children to be protected, and I think I did a good job of protecting them from all of that. But because I did that, I closed myself down and just enjoyed them, and I have no complaints about it. I love my children. I think I got the best children on the planet. I'm sure everybody else does. But then God also almost 12 years ago, brought Michael into my life. I was not looking for a man. Matter of fact, it was 17 years ago. I wasn't looking for a man. I wasn't looking to get married. Both my kids were getting ready to go off to college. My son had waited 1 year, and Jesse was mad because he was supposed to leave 1 year before, and then she would have had me by myself. But they both left at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And then Michael showed up
Okay.
and chased me for a year. He was living in New Jersey and I was in Atlanta. So he chased me for a year, finally got me, and we've been married now 12 years. But
Okay.
the joy that he brings to my life, uh, I say happiness because I always say Jesus brings me the joy. He brings me happiness. Uh,
Uh-huh.
um, and the way they love him, my kids love him like their own. And that's the same with you and Bishop, because Bishop's kids are all grown,
Hmm.
but now he has two more children, and he loves them as if they were his own. And
Which you know them too, which
to
is
see them together, you would not know that he
right.
hadn't been with them for their whole life,
Hmm.
because um, they just he's full with joy. He likes going and taking Austin to swim practice, and he loves the fact that um,
Paige.
oh my God, what's your daughter's name? I knew I know.
Paige. Paige.
Paige
She
is in the
drives everything.
he's gonna go and celebrate her in the band and all of this kind of stuff, and it's just so good to see the joy, the happiness come back into his life,
Yeah.
because he went through I some people think it was only 1 year, but it was almost 3, maybe 4 years, and because it was a gradual thing. And
Yeah,
when we thought everything was getting better, all of a sudden
yeah,
everything turned too fast.
yeah, yeah. So
So
she,
it's nice to see him happy.
it is, and my heart went out when I first found out about Gene. In fact, the person that I was dating at the time, he's the one that told me. He said, Miss Jean passed away, and so I ended up calling Minister Carroll, which is the only person I
Hmm.
would know that he would know,
Yep.
um, to see if I could come over and visit, just to share my story and say everything was going to be okay, because I knew that that was tough. And this really, you guys, this is for all those people that have a family member. I got a real close girlfriend that passed away just a few days ago, Rochelle Taylor, who Sheila as well, and life is not promised, and so
Mm-mm.
this show is really designed to talk about all things. I love what Rashana said, which is this is powerful in its transparency, because of what sometimes we don't get a chance to say all of this. On
Hmm.
the pulpit, we don't get a chance to share it so that everybody knows who Sheila is. Some people know, some people who are not a part of World Changers may not know. But I would like, Sheila, for you to just kind of close us out, and as we're talking about, you know, people that have lost spouses and relationships kind of restoring. What would you tell someone that, now that you've gone through, like Mama Jean, for example, her passing away, what would you tell the person that is struggling with maybe their uh, their loved one moving on to finding another relationship, or trying to decide whether I should now see someone else? Because we've had, TC has been on, we've had a number of people that have lost a spouse, and they're still trying to figure it out. And you got the people behind them saying,
Hmm.
don't need to do that, or kids saying, daddy, don't do that. Well, what would you say? I know you've not had this direct experience, but you
Right.
have, right?
Yeah, because
Say,
25 years is a long time. They were mom and dad. But
yeah.
before I say that, one of the things that really blesses me about your marriage, like you said, the reason you came into Bishop's life at that time was because you'd been there.
Mhm.
David had passed. You wanted to just let him know that we're here, I'm praying for you, and all those different things. But even now, I've seen you all have your anniversaries and things like that. You two celebrate your spouses who are in heaven.
Yeah.
You understand what the other one has gone through. And when he wants to cry about Mama Jean, he can. When you want to cry about David, you can, and nobody is jealous about it.
Right. Isn't
And
that
see what
something? And I know that's me and Fuller, but that's the weirdest thing almost.
I know, because your anniversaries were close, their birthdays. I mean, it's just so much. And I'm like, God, you really picked them out of heaven.
Yeah.
You decided from heaven that these two needed to be together. And it's
Oh,
helped me quite a bit. Because,
uh-huh.
like I said, I had to learn to appreciate this. But
Yeah.
one thing that I believe, based on knowing Mama, the last thing she would want her husband to be is sad
Yeah.
and depressed, because he's not a sad and depressed kind of person. He's going to always find the good in any situation and try and help everybody get better and be happy and joyful and trust God.
He is. Sheila, hold on. Yes,
Uh-oh.
Fuller. Are you trying to say something, Fuller? He wants me to finish my thought, Sheila.
Yes, sir.
He says, finish your thought on coming to the house. All I was going to say, Fuller, as he's called me twice, you guys, I promise you, my phone
I'm
rang
not
and I looked at
surprised.
it, I put it on speakerphone so he could see that I'm on the GodFidence. He says, finish your thought about calling Carol. So he wants me to let you know. So I called Minister Carol and I said, Minister Carol, may I come over? Would you ask Bishop Fuller if I could come over to the house and see him? I just want to, talk about, everything's going to be fine. Just share my experience. That's all I said. I didn't even know what I said. So she said, well, let me contact his sister and I'll get back with you. Well, I think that was probably maybe a day or two later. So then she calls me back. She says, yes, his sister Vera. I didn't know Fuller had sisters. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't didn't know that they sat on the front row. I didn't know who they were. I'd never seen them before. And so she says, sure, you can come over. So I ended up, me and Paige went over to the house,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked in the door and I'm talking to the sisters. They're like, oh, of course. I said, I'm Darlene. And they're like, we know who you are. Hey, Darlene, you are praise and worship leader. We love you. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, look, hey, you guys. And then I turned the corner into his family room. You know what I'm talking about, Sheila, into the family room area.
Uh-huh.
And then Fuller comes in, and so I said, oh, hi, Bishop Fuller. And he's like, oh my gosh, Darlene, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing here? I'm here just to kind of check on you. I just want you to see a face that that if you need anything or just want to talk, because I know what that's like, and I just kind of came to let you know everything's going to be okay. And just that, I think alone gave him a little bit of peace to say, you know what, I would have never thought this person would have come over here. Now, of
Mm-hmm.
course, we ain't even thought about each other, because I was like, that thought about seeing Fuller came weeks, months later, when we were having more conversations. But that
Mm-hmm.
special, just having somebody to talk to, and calling Minister Carol. And it was because
Mm-hmm.
of Minister Carol that I got a chance to come over and speak to him. And then I was really there as support, just like you have gone
Yep.
over. And nobody ever knows how God is going to put things together. But I tell you, I'm so grateful that he put us together. And
Mm-hmm.
we are now at the end of our hour. It went by so fast. And look, Sheila, you did so good.
I just kept watching you. I didn't look at me.
You know what, Sheila? I must say, you look absolutely gorgeous tonight. I love that shirt or dress on you. It is so becoming. I don't know how you and I came up with these same colors, and how we're sitting in our living room, our virtual
Yes.
living room, and it all worked out good. We got the mirror image of it. And so I'm just so happy. You see, Lelia Johnson is clapping her hands.
Yay.
We got people that y'all throw up some hearts for Sheila on Facebook, and just let her know what a great job tonight that she did. And so Gail is saying, sure did, Sheila, Sister Sheila, and Tawanza is shouting it out for you, and everybody's just congratulating you on standing out. Because sometimes, Sheila, you're always in the background. You're all over back here. Every time I
Yeah.
come to Sheila over there, Sheila, where's Sheila? I can find you. And
Yep.
people know how to connect because of who you are. God is always continuing to will continue to bless you. I'm so grateful that you're a part of Fuller's life, because you keep him on the straight and narrow. You keep him technical savvy, even though he's still not technical savvy. But you keep him on the up and up. And because of you, we just love you. And we thank you for giving your time at the last minute, Sheila.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you, girl, you rocking that look. I don't know what you went and did. Doggone it, look good. But this look, and so Montrese says over there, great job, ladies, and thank you so much again. But look, Sheila, we out. This is really how we do it, and I am so excited that we got a chance to talk to you tonight. You got to dance it on out, Sheila. Come on, Sheila, put it. I don't even know. I don't even know which song this is. It's another Montel Jordan. If y'all don't know, now you know. Now you know. All right. Thank you, Sheila, for tuning in. Y'all come on back
Yes.
next Monday. God for this. Same time, same place. Come on, Sheila. Rock it out. See y'all later. Peace out on God for this. Thank you. Love you guys. See ya.